covering those cars.
We might be seeing the safety car on circuit. It's standing by at the moment, so wait to see. This could close everybody up together again.
That's the Team India car still looking down the pit lane. Yes, it is still towards the end of the pit lane, close to turn one, so that car needs to be taken away to safety. Looking Sean McIntosh, Team Canada, 4th place. Pressure still behind. Johnny Reid slides into turn 6. The back of the car gets away from him. He controls it and cuts through turn 7. The bumps on the apex there through the car. Now we've got Thomas Scheckter
back out.
Australia back out again. Wave yellow flag still. That is for Team India's car parked on the right-hand side of pit lane. No overtaking allowed in that zone.
No, and not at all, because the safety car has been scrambled, so they will have the safety car on circuit. You can see confirmation of that. Team Ireland, though, running in a fine 5th place at the moment, and all of this is just going to help everyone concertina together. For poor old France, which had a 6.6 second lead, they've now got to work for it again.
I know, it's ironic. You do all the good work in the pit lane, you make a perfect pit stop, you get out, you regain the lead. Now, because of a car stopped on the circuit, that lead is going to just disappear. Everybody will be back up into a pack, first all the way through the field, all the way down, well, to 20th place, which is where India is being shown. In fact, 19 cars running. So with 14 laps to go, and it'll take a lap or two to clear that car. There's the safety car, the very beginning of the pit straight coming down, and that will take away as we look at Malaysia and Australia. A bit more experience. Alex Schum locks it up, and Christian Jones from Team Australia, I think he saw that one coming. He got out of the way, decided that I'm not going to try and challenge here. He's got me, and I'll let him go.
So the Indian car will be moved out of the way. Now they'll get everybody stacked up behind and then wait until the track is clear. They'll probably then wave through the rest of the cars until they pick up the leader, but that will take a little while, so everybody has a chance to draw breath. And let's just tell you the situation. France lead the feature race here at the Euro Speedway, but Great Britain, having started from the very back of the grid, took an early pit stop which worked brilliantly. They are now 2nd. Canada is in 3rd place, New Zealand 4th, Ireland 5th, Switzerland, after a slow stop, having run 2nd throughout most of this race. They did lead in the early stages. They're now 6th. Indonesia is 7th. The Netherlands in 8th place. Japan in 9th. And Brazil, Nelson Piquet Jr., who of course won both races at Brands Hatch. He's had all sorts of problems. He had a slow pit stop and then a penalty, and he's down in 10th.
Yes, but he's going to take the opportunity to pounce on Japan. That may not be too difficult. Netherlands in 8th place with Jos Verstappen, a lot more difficult. And as you progress up through the top 7 cars, Indonesia, well, who's going to say that's going to be a walk in the park? Switzerland, forget about it. Ireland, forget about it. New Zealand, well, it's going to be Nelson Piquet Jr. started 3rd, thought he was going to have a very good chance of getting in the podium. Pit stops. That's what it's all about, mix and match. We've got a real mix and match top 10 today.
Yeah, this is great fun, and there's France still to catch up to the back of the queue. I think 1 or 2 cars still to catch up the pace car. Once everybody's got together, they will start waving people through, so that the leader, France, will then sit behind the safety car, and that's going to just take a lap or so to sort out. Coming through the picture, you just saw Mexico, Malaysia, they're 15th, 16th. Austria is currently running in 18th position. China is still 19th, and then Lebanon is in 20th place. That's France still trying to catch up. India, of course, out of the race. Italy out of the race. South Africa, we thought, was out of the race, but actually the car is back on circuit. And the other car that's out of the race and has really had an awful weekend is Team USA.
But look, car coming in the pit lane, and it looks it is indeed Team South Africa. Thomas Scheckter back into the pit lane.
There are 12 laps remaining at the Euro Speedway in the feature race of the A1 Grand Prix of Nations, and Indonesia behind the safety car at the moment and being waved through because they're waiting now to pick up the race leader. The race is being led by France from Great Britain and Canada, with New Zealand once again looking to score consistently. And after the problems for Brazil, it now looks as though New Zealand are proving to be one of the most consistent teams in A1 Grand Prix.
Well, we heard from Colin Gillentrap, the franchise holder for Team New Zealand, and he was delighted with the performance in qualifying from Johnny Reid. We saw great performances at Brands Hatch from Matt Halliday, and if they can consolidate and get 4th place, maybe even challenge Canada, because the balance of speed between those two nations is probably very close, maybe slightly tipped in the favour of Johnny Reid. Nevertheless, Sean McIntosh from Canada is not going to give up to anybody, least of all New Zealand.
Now, here we are. They've waved through until France has caught them. So now what they'll do is that France will lead the pack around behind the safety car, and then we've got to wait, of course, for everybody else to catch up.
Yes, and I hope the team principals or managers are telling their drivers to get on with the programme, because we don't want this to go on. Now, we've got obviously a major problem. They can't tow the Team India car away. It's having to be craned on that truck to get it onto the back of the truck to move it. So, obviously, something fairly terminal in either the engine or transmission of that A1 chassis for Team India, and that's the reason why it's been taking so long. So we wait now for the rest of the field to do another lap to catch up to the tail of the snake to enable us to get this race with 12 laps to go. It'll be shortly about 11 as it comes across start-finish line. So it'll be something like 10 laps to go, and then it'll be dash for the cash, as they say.
Fight to the flag, that's right, John, and it's going to be between France, Great Britain, Canada, New Zealand and Ireland. That's our top 5. Well, what a prospect, what a mouth-watering prospect that is. The Indian car being taken away now after stopping on the start-finish straight and causing this safety car with the last part of the feature race to go here at the Euro Speedway. 11 laps remain, the lights flashing away, but the leader of the race is now in behind the safety car, and it's Robbie Kerr for Great Britain behind him, and then Sean McIntosh for Canada in third.
But there's a row of 14 or 15 other cars that are still stretched out around the racetrack as they... I'm just trying to find where the lead group of cars is. They're under the safety car, and where the rest of the field is. They're gradually catching up, but there are some that are strung out, and it's going to take maybe more than the single lap for them to catch up to the end of the chain of cars that are running now, with France at the head of that, is behind the safety car.
Yep, so they'll just keep the pace fairly settled at the moment. There's that wonderful view down. I tell you what, we've been blessed by fantastic weather for the opening 2 events of A1 Grand Prix. It was like this at Brands Hatch. Well, a little bit of...
the safety car is just coming through turn 9, and we're still seeing cars just coming down the end of pit lane to go into turn 1s, 2, 3, and then 5, which leads onto the back straight. So give another best part of a lap and a half by the time they come across the line, and then one more lap. I think they'll be in position, and then we can get another green flag, and with 10 or so, maybe 9 laps remaining, it'll be a very exciting finish. It would have been a very a race of spectacle, and a lot of disappointment in the pit lane, and good fortune for others who've done it properly.
Yeah, it can be done. As you say, several of the teams did get it right. I think there is obviously an element of luck in these wheel changes at the moment. That will be something that's sorted. Perhaps teething troubles with new equipment, but it's certainly added to the unpredictability of the race, there's no doubt. And I think the pit stops are always going to be a factor, because when you've only got one mechanic per corner, there's always going to be a bit of a challenge.
Yes, but of course also everybody is using identical equipment. Unlike other formula where people manufacture or they use equipment which they've made specifically for their needs, everyone has got the same equipment. There is no difference. So it's a question of making use of it and making and understanding it, really, to get the best out of it. And maybe it's a question also of more haste, less speed. It's natural for people to try and rush this, but you're not really doing it as a timed pit stop. What you're trying to do is do it as a pit stop to get in and out as cleanly as possible. Maybe lose a second in speed, but get out with everything done correctly.
Netherlands, you know, they've had an eventful day, haven't they? Jos Verstappen, but would you believe he's in 8th place now as a result of all of these problems for other people and just getting on with the job and not making too many mistakes on circuit. And now, of course, in 8th place, he's right there with the lead group because of this late safety car intervention. So anything's possible here. France, Great Britain, Canada, New Zealand, Ireland. Then you can see Switzerland after that dreadful stop, Indonesia, and then the Netherlands.
Well, as the safety car comes off the end of the back straight, the tail of the chain of cars are just going on to it. So in the space of one lap, they've caught up more than half a lap. So I suspect by the time they come across start-finish line next time, and that will be with 9 laps to go, that lap, 9th laps to go, will be the lap that the safety car will be coming in.
So we'll be getting racing underway pretty soon now as the safety car gets them all gathered together, and they'll just weave around a touch to keep the tyre temperature up. See Pakistan in there, despite the problems they had in the first race, still running in 12th in this one. 13th place for Portugal, Germany in 14th place, Mexico 15th, then Malaysia, Australia, Austria, China and Lebanon.